By the end of this video, you'll know how to make caponata, which is a delicious vegetarian dish originating from Italy and is typically served as an appetizer, often atop sliced crusty bread. I'll run through the ingredients and the preparation, then move on to cooking the caponata, and lastly, suggestions how to serve it. I begin with the eggplant. You'll need 2 large eggplant, about 900 grams. I slice the eggplant into rounds and then into cubes. I put all the eggplant in a large colander and I sprinkle it generously with salt. Now, salt does 2 things to an eggplant. It draws out any bitterness, and secondly, it ensures that when you fry the eggplant, it doesn't soak up as much oil because eggplant is like a sponge. I place the colander over a dish and I let it do its thing for about 30 to 40 minutes. And in the meantime, I prep the rest of the ingredients. I finally slice about 3 sticks of celery. If you have access to some fresh fennel, it's a lovely substitution for the celery. Then I take a medium-sized onion and I dice that finely, and I add that to the same bowl as the onions because I'll be frying them together a bit later. Then I take 4 big cloves of garlic, which I finely mince. Using about 700 grams of fresh ripe tomatoes, I remove the core and then I chop all the tomatoes into a largish dice, and I set that aside, juice and all. You can substitute tinned tomatoes here if fresh are not available. Now, caponata's got to have olives, and green ones add both colour and flavour. I take a half a cup of green olives and I slice them and set them aside. I rinse 2 tablespoons of baby capers. You'll also need some tomato paste, just a tablespoon. And into a small bowl, I place 1/3 cup of red wine vinegar, to which I add 4 teaspoons of white sugar, and I stir it until the sugar is dissolved. I measure 2 tablespoons of pine nuts into a small dish, and I'll also be needing some pepper, oil, and perhaps some salt. 40 minutes has passed and there is quite a bit of liquid from the eggplants, which I discard. I then tip the eggplants onto clean paper towel and I pat them dry. That's the prep. Now the fun part, time to cook all those beautiful ingredients. I warm 3 tablespoons of olive oil in a heavy base pan, and I saute the onions and celery over a moderate heat, stirring frequently until they're softened for about 10 minutes. Then I stir in the minced garlic and I cook it for just a minute, just until I can smell the lovely aroma. And then I transfer this mixture to a bowl. I pour another 3 tablespoons of olive oil into the pan. I increase my heat to high and I saute the eggplant, stirring constantly for about 5 to 10 minutes until they're showing a little colour and they've softened. Then I return the celery, onion and garlic mixture to the pan, and then I stir in 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. I like to cook tomato paste out for a couple of minutes before I add any other ingredients. I find that tomato paste needs this caramelisation, as it can have an unusual metallic flavour if not cooked out first, and only for a couple of minutes. Then I add the red wine vinegar mixture, tomatoes, olives, capers and a good sprinkle of black pepper. And I give that a good stir and bring it to the boil and let it simmer away uncovered for about 15 minutes. I don't add any salt at this stage. After 15 minutes, I stir in the pine nuts, which add a lovely flavour and crunch, and I taste for seasoning. This is the time to adjust it to your taste. I added a pinch of salt and a little more sugar. Then I let it cool down and I transfer the mixture into a bowl, which I refrigerate until it's ready to serve. This is one of those dishes that actually tastes better the next day, and it can be eaten cold, warm or at room temperature. Back in my chef days, I featured it on the lunch menu, nestled inside a roll with some cheese and offered either toasted or fresh. Nowadays I like to have it for lunch, chilled, meze style, with some good quality bread and usually some protein like tuna or chickpeas. And it's perfect for work. I just pack it in little containers and I'm good to go. It is also brilliant for a party or when you have visitors because it makes a delicious appetizer. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoy this recipe. See you again soon.